2025 was the year that changed my entire life. I achieved things I thought were never possible. I achieved all my goals for the year, and I completely transformed my life in every single aspect. Now, if you can say the same about what you did in 2025, then cool. You can click off this video and just go and repeat that in 2026. But if you're watching this right now, brother, and you maybe were super motivated January last year, you had all these goals, and somehow this year you haven't achieved them, then you need to stick around for this conversation, because what I'm about to tell you will change the entire trajectory of 2026 for you. Now, this period right here, where we are right now, a couple of days before New Year's, is make or break. It's the time where you can either start the year off correct and roll into January 2026 with momentum, building good habits, and setting yourself up to have a transformative year, just like I had last year. But it's also the time where you could actually start the wrong habits. You could come into the year with the wrong mindset, or maybe you're just misguided and lost, and you're going to transfer that entirely through the rest of your year. So in this conversation right now, what I'm going to tell you is the secrets that I used to make 2025 the year that changed my life. I'm going to give you some stories about exactly how I did it, and that's where we're going to start off. And then I'm going to tell you exactly how you can make 2026 the year that you finally become profitable, you finally become a full-time trader, and you finally start to make six figures in trading. Because realistically, it's entirely possible for you. At the start of 2025, I hadn't cracked a 50k trading month. I hadn't cracked the code to print money every single month like I did this year. And I was feeling lost too, and I'll admit that to you. One thing that I did that actually started me off on the right track is I had this notebook right here. And if you go to the first page of this notebook, what you're actually going to see is you're going to see my goals for 2025. I have a summary of what I did right and wrong in 2024, and then I have 2025 goals. And looking back on this right now is so unbelievably emotional for me, because I'm going to tell you the goals that I've written down right now, and then we'll go into exactly what you can do to achieve greatness in 2026. But in this notebook right here, I'd written down $1 million in funding. And I'll admit to you, when I wrote this down, December 2024, I wrote down $1 million in funding, which I thought was such a long shot. I wasn't confident enough in my trading to achieve that. And I honestly wrote it down just as a aspirational goal. I thought maybe I won't achieve it, but so be it. And for those of you who've been following me for a while, or just for this year, I guess, you'll know that we did achieve that. I hit $1.2 million in funding. And the next goal right here that I thought was even more far-fetched was $100,000 in payouts. Now, I'd had some consistent broker payouts, but at the start of 2024 or 2025, I was not a prop firm trader. I was trading on a live account, and I didn't really know how to trade props. I hadn't cracked the code. That doesn't matter. The point is, there's some other goals on here too, but they're not trading focused, so we'll just focus on those two for right now. I wrote those down, and I guess in my mind I was purely hoping that writing them down would manifest them into reality. And I'm going to tell you the truth, I didn't believe that manifesting these things into reality was a real thing. But it happened. Now, I'm not going to talk to you about manifestation in this video, because realistically, some of you may believe it, some of you don't, but I'll just quickly tell you that it is actually the truth. But brother, look, 2026 is coming. No matter what you do, no matter what you say, it's coming. And when January 1st comes around, you have a unique opportunity. You have an opportunity that no one gets any other time of the year. And that is to start off with a clean slate. You can reset your habits, reset your mental framework, and you can come into that new year with the exact habits, the exact mindset that you need to make that year a good year. But before you do that, the thing you need to do the most to prime your brain and prime your mindset is you need to review what you've done this year. You need to understand what went right this year and understand what went wrong. And the first time that I did this was December last year, December 2024. And it changed my life. Because everyone talks about, oh, how quickly this year's gone by, how time flies. And that is completely true. And I guarantee you can't remember what you did in every month of this year. I know I can't. Because until you review what you did wrong and right this year, nothing is going to change. So I'm going to talk you through exactly what I did and let's just go into my year. I want to be open and honest with you because this year wasn't always great. It wasn't always, what it seems on social media. Everyone on social media, including myself, is posting mostly highlights. And that's something that I've been trying to do more of this year, is post the honest and real truth of being a trader, the honest truth of trying to achieve something great in life. And I want to tell you a quick story. February this year, I moved to Cyprus. It was the biggest change in my entire life. Now, I'd made some money in January, quite a bit of money, and I decided I needed a fresh start. So we moved out to Cyprus, and the first 2 months I got absolutely hammered in the markets. Absolutely hammered. February was my worst month ever in the market. $20,000 negative. And I just spent all of this money moving to a new country. I bought a new car, I bought a new house, I bought all of these new things. So I was already financially feeling the move. And then the next 2 months, I get absolutely crushed by the market, losing on my live account over and over and over. And this was a struggle to me. This was something that I struggled with at the start of the year. And looking back on it now, there's things that I could have done differently. I could have dropped my risk. I could have stopped trading. I could have understood that maybe the financial pressure was what was causing me to have these issues. And this is the sort of thing you need to go ahead and do in order to review your year, in order to review exactly what happened to you, and actually make changes that aren't gonna happen again next year. Now, when you're doing this, I want you to go ahead and look through every single trading related decision you've made this year. And that could be everything down from not buying a new PC or buying a new laptop to trade, all the way to specific entries that you've taken. And you need to go ahead and double down on all of the good things you did. Now, the good thing for me specifically was leaning into the funded, investing in myself, spending multiple $1,000s on challenge fees, because I knew that would pay off and that I would get the ROI that I was looking for from the prop firms. Something else that I would say that I did well this year was investing into the community, trying to give more knowledge back to you guys, because inevitably what happened then was, as I was trying to give you more knowledge and provide better education on YouTube or in the mentorship, I learned more myself. I learned new entry models. I learned more about the lower time frames, and my trading reached a new level this year. I've never felt this good in the markets. I've never felt this confident, and I've never executed with such certainty that I have been throughout the past 4 to 5 months. So that tells me a couple of things. That tells me I need to double down next year on education, on giving back to you guys, also educating myself. Tells me I need to double down on investing in myself, being willing to part with money in order to actually make more back. And it tells me that learning from my losses whenever I'm feeling these emotional states or financial, stress, let's call it, maybe I need to take some time away. Now, the reason I'm sharing this is nothing to do with the trading or the lessons that I learned, but it's to show you exactly what you need to be doing. So before you do anything this year, before you make your New Year's resolutions, before you make a plan for 2026, first of all, look backwards. Be retrospective, but be honest with yourself. Talk about write down exactly what you did this year that was correct, what you did well, but also be realistic and be honest with yourself about what you did wrong, what you could have done better. Maybe you struggled with your evaluations, you started to rush them. Maybe you were feeling time pressure, you gave yourself monetary goals by a certain month, and you know now that this actually wasn't helping you. And I can't tell you exactly what these mistakes are, but I guarantee as I'm telling you this right now, you're going to be thinking to yourself of a few examples of exactly what you did this year that you could change coming into the next year. So spend a good couple of hours thinking about what you did this year, and go ahead and write those down. Make sure you make a note of what you need to double down on and what you need to cut out this year. And then after that, we're going to forget about it. We're not dwelling on any of the mistakes from last year. We're not dwelling on any of the successes. We're not getting overconfident, none of that. All we are simply doing is understanding what we need to do going forward. And now that you have that down, let's make our plan for 2026. Now, I'm yet to do this. It's probably something I'm going to do on the plane tomorrow as I fly to Germany. But we're going to make a plan. Alright, me and you, we're going to make a plan for how you are going to conquer 2026. And I want you to understand that if you don't have a plan coming into the year, I promise you, it is going to be so detrimental to you, to your life as a whole. It will change the entire impact and results that you get in 2026. Now, brother, I don't know your situation watching this video. I don't know whether you're profitable right now or unprofitable, or maybe you're at the break-even stage, whatever it may be. Whatever stage you are at, we need to figure out exactly how we're going to get through this. And it's going to start with learning. Now, what I want you guys to understand is, and I'll give you an analogy for this. Whenever I go and start with a new student, let's say another student joins my mentorship, the first thing I tell them is that they're learning a new strategy with me, or they're developing this current strategy that they've got. We spend the first 3 months of the mentorship learning, collecting data, refining their strategy, and becoming better as a trader, both psychologically and technically. So what I want you to go ahead and do this year is Q1 is going to be your learning phase. Q1 is going to be you spend as much time as possible trying to not just take in trading information, because that's not necessarily learning. I don't want you to just watch YouTube videos and paper trade. That's bullshit. Trade how you normally would. Collect data on your trading, figure out what's going right and wrong from that data, refine your strategy, and focus on the learning, not the money. And one of the funny things is, I'm telling you this right now, whenever I tell my students this, and whenever I tell them this is exactly what they need to do and what we're going to do, the students that go, all right, cool, and they change their mindset and they stop thinking about the money and they just focus on learning for the first couple of months. Because I tell them that after the learning phase, then we'll focus on making money. And that's okay, because once I tell them that, oh yeah, down the line we're going to focus on making money, they go, all right, okay, they relax. They take the pressure off themselves, they focus on learning, and they end up getting payouts. Because trading is something that you cannot do if you're so focused and eager on the money. And this is especially important for me to tell you right now, coming into January, because January is the time where everyone has the motivation. And this is something I wanted to talk to you about quickly in this video. Everyone gets it, I presume, at least I do. December is coming to an end, January is starting, that motivation starts to hit. This year I'm going to eat clean, I'm going to go to the gym every day, I'm going to trade with discipline, I'm going to get X amount in payouts, I'm going to do this. And that motivation hits you, and that's great in all aspects of life, apart from trading. Because that motivation in trading very quickly turns to pressure, it turns to greed, it turns to over trading, it turns to rushing the process. And you have to understand that this is something that we cannot afford to do as traders. So yes, it's okay to be motivated right now. Yes, it's okay to be super eager to get into January, to get into a New Year's price action. But let that motivation make sure that you actually only go ahead and trade with discipline. Use that motivation to stick to your plan. Use that motivation to only trade your A+ setups, to only risk 1%, to take things slowly. Don't let the motivation that you're about to experience lead to motivation in the wrong aspects, motivation in terms of taking trades quicker or forcing yourself to make X amount of money. And one of the most important things you need to remember about motivation is fleeting. Motivation is not forever lasting. Because we all know what happens in January. Anyone who goes to the gym will realize that whenever they go to the gym in January, the same gym they've been going to all year, suddenly full of people. And you see people in there for a week or two, January the 1st. And by the end of January, before February even comes around, they've all disappeared. And that's just the first identifier that motivation is fleeting. So if you're relying on motivation to take you through 2026, I promise you, it is not going to work. So what we need to do is we need to figure out how to turn your motivation into discipline. And we do that right now by creating a plan. Going back to the book, we create a plan that leads to you having a system that you can execute on the charts every single day. Because a lot of people think about trading and they talk about, yeah, I have a system. My entry is this, I wait for a breakout and then a flip or liquidity sweep, whatever it may be. But they forget to actually implement the system in terms of their life. What time are you waking up every morning? What time are you getting onto the charts? When are you doing your pre-market analysis? Are you eating before you get on the charts? Are you not? Do you feel better on a fasted stomach? Should you have a coffee before you trade, or is that going to make you anxious? You need to figure out these things now so that you can execute this plan going forward. So for me, every single morning, I wake up, not early because of the time zone I live in, 9 o'clock. I get onto the charts around 10. I have a look for London session. If nothing's there, then I wait for New York. I'm fasted all morning before New York Open starts, about 1:30. I do my analysis, wait for NYSE to open, and then I'm trading. Alright, I'm not having too much caffeine before I trade, maybe just one coffee. I'm not eating before I trade. I'm not going to the gym before I trade. And I'm staying off social media before I trade. Because this is the routine that I've developed this year that I understand is going to give me the most profitable system. It's going to give me the best mindset coming into the charts. And these are just the little things we need to understand and implement coming into the new year. So that's sort of a micro day-by-day sort of plan. And those are good to have and those are important to have. But the main point of this video is obviously not that. The main point of this video, 2026, how are you going to attack the year? And this is something that's individual to each person, but I'm going to talk to you about exactly how I'm going to do it. Maybe you can get some sort of inspiration and you can take this forward. Now, specifically for my trading, I'm approaching it this way. Q1 for me is to rebuild my funding. November and December I took $40,000 in payouts, but whilst I took $40,000 in payouts, that resulted in my funding dropping down. So from 1.2 million, I'm now at about $500,000 still, which is fine and it's good. But Q1, I'm going to build that back up. I've already figured out the challenges I'm going to buy, the money I'm going to invest, and I'm going to essentially invest in these props, get back to $1 to $1.5 million in funding, and then February, maybe even a little bit later, that's when I start to attack the market and go for payouts. Now for you guys, it might be something different. You might be at a different stage in your trading. Maybe January and February is your data collection months. You're testing out the TRLS strategy. You've figured out exactly how you want to trade it. You've watched all of the YouTube videos on my channel, the free course, etc. So you're going to spend 2 months forward testing it. You're going to trade the live markets on evaluation, just like I tell you to do. Collect 60 days worth of data, and then maybe March or even Q2, you start to trade your evaluations a little bit more aggressively, trying to get funded. And then month 4, your plan is to go ahead and go for the payouts after you become funded. Whatever it may be, we need to figure out a step-by-step plan. But one of the most important things I want to tell you here is, you will have noticed when I told you my plan, I've given myself Q1, maybe even a little bit longer. And those words, maybe even a little bit longer, are very important. Because yes, whilst it's important for us to set goals right now, to set targets that we want to achieve throughout the year, one very important thing that I want to stress upon you is, we are not setting deadlines. There are no deadlines for our trading. And I'll tell you exactly why that is. When you tell yourself you need to get this funded account passed by February, what you are then doing is you're putting, first of all, monetary pressure on your trading and time pressure. So when you come to the charts every single day and a setup's not forming and the account's maybe in drawdown, or even if it's at break even or a little bit of profit, and you're thinking, oh my God, I've only got 2 weeks left to pass this account before my deadline hits. What starts to happen? Stuff starts to creep in, like over trading, over risking, FOMOing, revenge trading, and then we're back to square one. So whilst I'm telling you to set these frameworks for your trading and to set these goals should not be passing a funded account by a certain day. These goals should be flexible and they should be more like targets, okay? But you have to understand that one of the most important goals you can set this year, before the year even starts, is just a trading plan. A very simple trading plan. But this is something that's not monetary, it's not time related, and it's not even results based. It's not based on us passing fundeds or getting payouts. It's just something you can do every single day to get to the charts. Now, when I get a new student who joins the one-on-one, the first thing I do is I get them to develop their own trading plan. Or one of the first things. And you might be thinking, well, why don't you just give them a trading plan? Why don't you just tell them what yours is? I'm going to tell you right now. And the reason I'm not telling you a trading plan that you need to have for 2026, a framework, some social media people will probably tell you that, is because this is entirely down to you. And this is the entire point I'm trying to enforce on you in this video. This is your journey. 2026 is the year for your trading. Not mine, not anyone else's, yours. You need to understand what works for you. And this is why we look back at the previous year. This is why I told you at the start of the video, look back on your 2025. Maybe you're looking back right now and you're thinking, yeah, I shouldn't really have been trading London this year. You know, it doesn't really work for me. I'm getting up too early and my head's not working properly. Or I shouldn't be staying up late trading Asian. Whatever it may be. Develop a trading plan that works for you. What times are you going to get on the chart? What are you going to do before you get on the chart? What are your rules whilst you're trading? How many trades a day are you going to be taking? Write down this framework, either in a book like this or on a piece of paper, and put it somewhere it's visible. Now, for the OG viewers, you'll understand, I used to do this every single day. All right, before I was profitable, I had a big A3 piece of paper right there behind my PC in the UK back when I lived there, and it told me my rules. And one of the most important things this does is this takes away any personal accountability from you. It takes away the accountability of you having to get to the charts and remember, I need to stay disciplined, I need to do this, I need to only risk 1%. I had a piece of paper and I remember it vividly. It said 1 trade a day, 1% risk, 1 loss, you're off the chart, only trade A+ setups. And then underneath it had a breakdown of what an A+ setup was for me. So coming to the charts every morning and seeing that right behind my desk allowed me to stay accountable. It allowed me to understand exactly what I needed to do. But the most important part is I had written that before I started trading. So before the month started or before the year started or even on the weekend. Because when you write that and when you prepare before it begins, before January comes around, now you can hit the ground running with the right habits from day one. And when you hit the ground running with the right habits from day one, it is so much easier to stay consistent and actually stay in the right mindset for the entire year. And I'll give you an example of this in real life. Every single time I get a student come to me that joins the one-on-one or whatever, the traders who are brand new are so easy to coach. For example, Tom. You guys would have seen a video recently on my channel about Tom. He passed 500k in funding and just got a $4,000 payout within 90 days of joining the program. And the reason he was able to do that and we were able to go so far with him so quickly is because he was brand new, which meant that from day one, I taught him the best habits, all right? I taught him exactly what to do, not to be FOMOing, not to revenge trade, not to do all of this. And essentially he was a clean slate. Now, I'm not telling you this to say that you're cooked if you're someone who's already been trading for a while. The point I'm trying to make with this is you can now reset your slate. You now have a fresh beginning, January 1st. So if you prepare right now, before the year starts, you come to the charts day one, January 1st, already activating the right habits, already doing the right things on the charts, already, sticking to your plan and already giving yourself the right habits inside and outside of your trading, then guess what? January 2nd, it's going to be so much easier to do it. January 3rd, it's going to be so much easier to do it. January 4th, it's going to be so much easier. And before you know it, 6-7 months have gone by and you are still sticking to those habits because you did it correctly from day one. But if you start the year off lackadaisical, you start the year off with a couple of days of nonsense, maybe you go out drinking on New Year's Eve and then you're hungover January 1st and then January 2nd you trade the market but you're not really locked in, guess what? You have just eliminated your chance of having a clean slate. Absolutely eliminated it. Because there's not going to be a new year again until the start of 2027. And obviously we don't want to wait until then, right? So you need to use this opportunity that you have right now. You need to use it to build the right habits from day one. And trading is all about momentum. It's all about the habits that you do day in, day out, both on and off the charts, and building that momentum so that that compounding effect can take place. And before you know it, you are getting major payouts. And this is the thing that I want you to understand with trading this year. Most people think about trading as something that is linear. They think they want to make 10K a month with trading, which cool, is fine, whatever. Let me tell you what happened for me in Q4. Q4, the first month, I made absolutely no money. But what I did get was actually negative because I'd spent money on prop firm accounts, but I did get funding from it. And then the next month, we built those funded accounts up and got $30,000 in payouts. And the month after that, we took a bit of a slower month, $10,000 in payouts. So that's $40,000 in payouts. But then actually when you average that out across those 3 months, what are we doing, like 12, 13,000 a month? And this is exactly what I want to imprint on you right now. Trading is non-linear. So I don't want you to think about this going into 2026 with the mindset of January 1st, I need to make 10K. You need to build the right habits first. You see how I spent the first couple of months trying to get funded to a certain degree, to that $1 million funded. Then I spent the next bit building the accounts up and maybe, getting some payouts. And then we really went ahead and rinsed the payouts. This is exactly what you need to do. And maybe it doesn't have to be with payouts. Maybe you need to spend the first couple of months building your knowledge up, building the right habits, building a detailed trading plan, understanding your psychology. Then the next couple of months you can spend getting yourself in the position to make money. Maybe you start to go ahead and build your funding up, or backtest your system, or refine your edge, whatever it may be. And then next month, out of nowhere, you'll get a $30,000 payout. And this is what starts to happen, but it's non-linear. So if you see yourself now in a situation where you're like, I didn't make any money this month, fuck. All right, you need to remove these sort of bad habits and these bad, I guess it's just a misconception from your mindset. Because realistically, going into this year, the only thing that matters is developing the right habits. If you can do that and exercise them from day one, then you are going to be way better off this year than you are right now. Brother, the point of this video is just to make sure you understand the importance of this right now. I want you to start the year off right, and I want you to put yourself in the exact right position that you need to be going into the new year. I'm going to be trading the entirety of this year. 2025 was the year that changed my life. And I wrote this down in my notebook earlier. I guarantee in 10 years' time, I look back on 2025 and think, holy fuck, that year changed my life. And one other thing I want to leave you with is, I was talking to my girl about this earlier. I didn't have a single day off this year. So many people say that and they exaggerate. I did not have one single day off this year, including my birthday. I was on the charts on my birthday, I was recording content on my birthday, every single day this year, 365 days. No joke. I did not have a single day off. But this year changed my life. And you can do the same. Maybe you don't have to go this extreme, but you can do the same. Putting in the work this year will put you in a position to change your entire, not just your entire 2026, but your entire life. And I guarantee I look back on 2025 and the things I did, and this is why I wanted to make this video sat in this car right now, because this car is, I guess, the real life visualization of the work that I've put in this year. Because this car cost me 100,000 euros. And I didn't even think I could make 100,000 euros this year. But obviously I made way more, and I'm just grateful to God for that. But if you made it to the end of this video, then the main thing I want to be telling you is lock in, focus up for this year. I'm going to be trading the entirety of the year, so make sure you like and subscribe so that you can join me on this journey. I'll be trading live every single day on YouTube. We'll be starting the streams up for pre-NY, and then we'll be moving into the private group for NYSE streams. So we're going to change it up a little bit, but it's going to be great. If you want help on a more detailed one-on-one basis, then the link is down in the description. But otherwise, go ahead and subscribe and watch all of the content before the start of New Year. Go ahead and watch as many of my YouTube videos as you possibly can. Have videos on the strategy, videos on the psychology, all of this sort of stuff, because brother, I promise you, if you put in the work right now, learn the concepts, and hit the ball rolling in 2026, you are going to kill it. I believe in you, brother. Let's have an absolutely monumental 2026. I have huge goals, I'm sure you do too. Now it's just time to put in the work and achieve them. Much love, brother. God bless. Be grateful to God for what you achieved in 2025. Make sure you thank him. and asking for help to make 2026 your year. And other than that, see you in the next one.